Afternoon, everybody. I got a couple things to go through, and then we'll get to your questions. Earlier today, Secretary Hagel spoke by phone with Russian Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu. Today's conversation obviously focused on the situation in Ukraine. Secretary Hagel was clear, and he was firm. Because Russian forces are in control of Crimea, they bear responsibility for what is happening there. He also pressed Minister Shoigu to explain Russian intentions with respect to forces they have aligned near Ukraine's eastern and southern borders. And he reiterated his call that Russia immediately work to de-escalate the tension and to restore Ukrainian territorial integrity. It was a lengthy call, lasting about an hour, and I think it's fair to say that at times it was direct. But Secretary Hagel appreciated Minister Shoigu's time and the minister's assurance that the troops he has arrayed along the border are there to conduct exercises only, that they had no intention of crossing the border into Ukraine, and that they would take no aggressive action. The two leaders agreed to keep the dialogue open.
Some tools you do not talk about. Can you assure, because you spoke of the across the administration effort?
What's happening in Crimea what's happening in Crimea does nothing to de-escalate tension there. And again, I'll say it as I said in my opening. He made it clear on more than one occasion that because they are in control, they bear responsibility for what happens there, including the violence that happened recently. And he also was very direct about his concerns about the troops that are on the Russian side of the border, but across from Ukraine on the eastern and southern sides. And he wanted a better accounting for what that was all about.
Can you give a little bit of detail in terms of what's being asked for in the review?
He gave 3 assurances, which I've outlined for you. It's an exercise only, no intention of crossing the border into Ukraine, not going to take any aggressive action. That was Minister Shoigu's words, and Secretary Hagel's expectation is that he'll live up to those words.
Are you
President called it a priority.
The President's calling it a priority.
Thanks, everybody.